Today, I'm going to make you feel really good. And the way that I'm going to do that is by telling you that if you have been terrified that you are lazy or you constantly beat yourself up that you're lazy all the time, I'm going to tell you that you're actually not lazy at all. The truth is that laziness, in the majority of cases, is a symptom, not a cause. So imagine for a second that you had to do everything that you do with a 1,000-pound boulder strapped to your back. Imagine how hard the simplest of tasks would be. So, you try to clean your room or you try to do the laundry, but you're walking around with a 1,000-pound boulder on your back. That is what the majority of people that I work with who think that they are lazy are actually going through. So let me explain a little bit. That 1,000-pound boulder that I'm talking about is actually obligation. We have so many things that we try to take on in our lives from the outside environment, from our parents, from society, from family, from friends, all the sort of pressures of things that we are told we should do, but we don't actually care at all about. And life has way too many variables, way too many obligations to be able to take on all of the shoulds. And so what happens is that you get overburdened, you get saddled with all of this stuff that you feel like you absolutely have to do or you are a miserable failure. And then because you are so overburdened with all of that stuff, what ends up happening is that you're exhausted. And so what looks like laziness in terms of, laying on your bed, scrolling TikTok rather than cleaning your room like you should, is actually just being completely overburdened and exhausted. Now, that being said, true laziness does absolutely exist. And the way that you can tell if you are actually lazy or not is if you like it. I know that sounds weird, but what I mean by that is that people that I've experienced that are actually lazy, they love it. And the reason why is because the thought in their head is, why would I do things the hard way when I can do them the easy way? And I know that that's what they think because I'm one of them. I am actually incredibly lazy and I love it. I think it's great. I do things in a very efficient manner. But for people that hate their laziness, I've yet to meet somebody that hates their laziness and it is a cause, not a symptom. So whenever I talk with people, when I talk with clients, when I work with clients about their laziness, what always comes out is that they are overburdened. They have all of these things that they are forcing themselves to do that they don't care at all about. And so in starting to shed those things that they don't care about, what ends up happening is that all of a sudden, weirdly, when they start prioritizing things that are actually important to them, they're not lazy anymore. So, at the beginning of the video, I told you I was going to make you feel really good. So hopefully in talking about this idea of, that you're not actually lazy and it's actually just that you're, weighed down by the weight of the world, it has helped you to, feel nice. Now I'm going to say something that is a little uncomfortable, which is that if you want to work on this, if you want to, start feeling better and doing the things that you want to do, you have to stop trading short-term pleasure for long-term suffering. So earlier I used the example of, laying in bed and watching TikTok, scrolling TikTok. And we in our society love to reach for quick fixes. You'll see this all over the place. Marketing loves that people like this. Marketing loves that people want quick, easy fixes because they pitch everything as a quick, easy fix and we reach for it. Think about, all the supplements, everything is the new miracle drug. And one really, really insidious example that exists right now is Ozempic. Now, don't get me wrong, before you take out your knives and pitchforks, I know this is kind of a hot topic. I think that Ozempic can be a life-saving drug. Ozempic is, if you have diabetes and desperately need to lose weight, or else it could threaten your life, your limbs, whatever the case, I think Ozempic can be amazing. And I think that if you are taking Ozempic because of societal expectations that have been laid on you of, you need to be skinny, you need to be smaller, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there are so many side effects that are coming out about Ozempic, effects of the drug that are incredibly harmful long term. And I don't say this as a, I'm not here to talk about like whether you should take Ozempic or not. I just use this as an example because I think that ultimately the example of Ozempic is a microcosm. That when we look at how we approach working on ourselves, we tend to reach for the quick, easy solution. And what that usually ends up resulting in is long-term suffering. Now, I know that this might be a little confusing because you're thinking like, well, but Sean, like you said that you were lazy. I thought you liked doing things the easy way. And that is true. I do. But we have to evaluate what is actually effective. It's not just about doing it the easy way, because if you're doing something the easy way, but it's not effective, then it's not actually the easy way. So we have to actually examine what works and then do that. And if there is an easy way to do that, by all means, do it. That's great. But if it has, more cost than benefit, then it's not an effective solution. And one way that you can do the things that are hard, because there are definitely, hard things that are necessary in life. One thing that you can do things that are hard and still, enjoy ease is by shedding all of the other stuff that you don't care about at all, by questioning the assumptions that you have of things that you have to do. Because we think that we have to do so much. But the truth is that there are a whole bunch of things that you can say no to. So for example, let's say that you really struggle with laundry and you can, put it in the washer, you can transfer it to the dryer, but hanging it up is just a nightmare. Oh my goodness. The amount of time it takes to hang up your laundry, the struggle that you have to go through to will yourself to hang up your laundry. But here's the thing. You don't have to hang up your laundry. You can just put it in a basket and then get your laundry out of the basket. It's like, oh, but it'll look so messy. I'll be such a slob. And those are all the judgments that we create about the way that we do things. But ultimately, if it allows you to do the things that you actually care about, if the question to ask really is, if no one could judge you, if you existed in a vacuum and you could do whatever it was that you wanted, if no one could judge you, would you still care about hanging up your laundry? And if the answer is yes, then by all means, hang up your laundry. But if the answer is no, then fuck it. Do what you like. So by saying no and shedding these obligations that you don't actually care about, what ends up happening is that you have more capacity to do the things that are hard that you do actually care about. So as an example for me, the sales portion of business can be really hard. Like as I work on building my mental health coaching business, the sales portion is probably the toughest part. And I am able to do the hard work that is necessary in order to be able to do what I love for work, because I am merciless about obligations that are put on me. I say no to so much that I have room in my life for the things that I want to say yes to. To break this down, to sort of put it all together, it starts out with shoulds or obligations that are laid on us. And then what that results in, it stacks up over time into overwhelm, into being overburdened, over-encumbered, which ends up turning into avoidance. We lay in bed and scroll TikTok because we can't face the 1,000-pound boulder that's on our back. We can't lift the 1,000-pound boulder that's on our back. And then that avoidance gets labeled as laziness. From the outside, it looks like laziness. Oh, there you are, just lazing around, not doing any of the things that are important to you because you are so overburdened by all of the obligations of life. So I hope that this has been helpful and given you sort of a framing, a reframing to see your own relationship with laziness. Because I'll be honest, it's a pet peeve of mine. When I'm talking with people and they say, ugh, I'm just so lazy, I get so angry because no, you're not. You're so not lazy. It is just that there is so much that you feel obligated to do that you can't possibly lift the weight of all of it. And as you start to shed that, I genuinely believe, because I see it all the time with people that I work with, you will find that you can actually work very, very hard on the things that you actually care about. If you like these topics where, this sort of topic of like motivation, getting stuff done, productivity, all that sort of stuff, this video that'll either pop up here or down the description, depending on where you're watching this, is all about this question of, is pain the best motivator? So if that sounds interesting to you, if you've been motivated by pain, check it out, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.